If you're looking for a full body mobility routine that you can perform at home with minimal equipment and under 30 minutes, then this video is for you. Hey, what's up guys? My name is Nick Helton and I'm a physical therapist. I've been creating mobility programs for the lower body, the upper body, as well as the spine. I've got them linked in my YouTube page and there's a playlist you can watch to check all those out. Today's video is going to be a full body routine, so it's going to combine all of those things that I just mentioned. If you like that kind of content or those type of videos, drop a like on the video. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and it also lets me know that you guys want me to make more of these type of videos. Without further ado, I'm going to stop talking because this video is already long enough. Go ahead and check out the workout video and let me know how it goes in the comments below. Today's mobility circuit is going to be a full body circuit. So what we're going to do is 4 individual sections. I'll put them up on the screen here just so you can have an idea of what we're going to be working on. But our first one is movement prep, which is getting us ready to perform the exercises. And then we have 3 working sets, which is going to be A, B, and C. Just follow along with me. I'm going to set a timer, and there's going to be a little blue bar that goes across the screen that helps you kind of visualize the timer. You can use that, or you can just listen to the actual timer beeping as we go along. Circuit A is going to be more spine and core focused. Circuit B is going to be more upper extremity and shoulder focused. And circuit C is going to be more hip and lower body focused. So we've got a good full body program within all of these. So what I'm going to do for the first exercise is get my foam roll out. If you don't have a foam roll, you can use a yoga mat or anything that's similarly shaped to the actual foam roll. So I'm starting my timer up. So we got 60 seconds for the upper back extension portion. So to start, I'm going to take my hands, put them across the back of my head, and then extend my upper back over the top of this foam roll. My goal is to breathe and really get good upper back extension. When I say upper back, I basically mean the area that encompasses the ribs. So the goal isn't necessarily to extend the lower back. I probably wouldn't go super low on this one because I think it's going to be quite uncomfortable. To make this harder, put those arms up and try and extend over the top of the foam roll as you're going back and forth. Perfect. That's exercise 1. Exercise 2 is called the scorpion. So what we're going to do for this one is lay down on the stomach. Head goes on the hands, and we're going to take one leg, bend it up, and we're going to try and rotate. So we'll switch back and forth with this one. Our goal is to bend up the leg and rotate the hip to the opposite side. This one's not about speed. I want you just to work on good quality motion. As you kick back, you might feel a little stretch in your quad or even in the front of the hip. And our goal is to rotate as far as we can and kind of stretch the front of the torso as well as the front of the hip. Okay, last exercise in the movement prep is pigeon. So pigeon stretch, front leg is crossed, postured up tall, and then we're just gonna come down to the floor. So up high, down to the floor. Now for this exercise, just do one leg, doesn't matter which leg you wanna do. And then we're gonna switch to the other side when we do round 2 of this movement prep circuit. 30 more seconds. Again, each one of these exercises we're doing for a full minute. The little blue bar at the bottom will tell you how far along we're going, and then the timer will beep at the end. To make this one a little bit harder, float those arms. So kind of put your arms on your chest and try to go from an upright position all the way down to the ground. Much harder to do. Perfect. Now let's jump right back in to our foam roll extension here. So foam roll goes on the upper back, hands behind the head, extend and stretch. You can do different angles as well, so you can roll up a little higher, roll up a little lower, find an area of your back that feels a little stiff, and work through that. Again, this one's not about speed either. We're trying to get good motion and trying to get ourselves ready to go through some of these exercises. Now this one shouldn't be painful. If you go too far and it just feels uncomfortable, just shorten the range of motion. Really easy fix. The nice thing is you're in control on how far you can go. This will work your abs a little bit as well. You're essentially doing a small crunch kind of on an elevated surface. Okay, move that foam roller out of the way, and then let's jump back into the scorpion. Round 2. Knee bent up, reach to the side, knee bent up, reach to the side. Now for the next exercise, when we get into the pigeon stretch, I want you to make sure you do the other leg. So for the first round, I did my left leg. For this next round, I'm gonna go to my right leg. Try and keep your arms down on the ground for this one as well. The goal is to keep those elbows down and really rotate from the lower end of the torso. You can also hold that for a second if you need to get a little extra stretch. Perfect. Now let's get into the pigeon stretch. So let's get our right leg in front. I did my left last round. Up tall, and let's bring that chest towards the ground. Again, keep breathing while we're here. To make this one harder, take those arms, put them on the chest. Try and come forward and all the way back up. You're really gonna feel that one. Again, if it's too hard, put those arms down however you like. You can even use one arm, so to make it a little less challenging than doing both arms, just use one at a time. You can switch back and forth. Or if you can't do that, just use both. Not a big deal. After this, we're gonna take a 1-minute break. Perfect, okay. 1-minute break. For this round, we're gonna be doing mostly spine and hip, or spine and core focus, excuse me. So we've got 3 exercises. The first is the beast crawl. I'm gonna have it up on the screen. The second is the side plank with hip abduction, and the third is the dead bug. For all of these, you do not need equipment. I think for the dead bug, it's good to have a resistance band or something that makes it a little more challenging, but you don't have to have it. You can still do the exercise without any kind of equipment at home. So if you have one of these laying around, great. If not, don't worry about it. I'm gonna rotate my yoga mat so that it's a little bit more towards the wall so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna grab some water. I suggest you do the same. Okay. For the beast crawl, what we're gonna do, hands and knees, and then try and float the knees off the ground. We're gonna walk forward and then walk backwards. For this one, what I want you to do is take small steps. Really the goal is to try to keep yourself in the same position as you're going along, as far as your torso goes anyway. If this is too hard, just go down onto your knees. So if you can't do it, just do a crawl back and forth. If it's pretty easy, go up and hold for a second. So as you lift an arm or a leg, hold it for a second. You can even do one arm, one leg to make it even more challenging. 10 more seconds. Perfect. Next one is going to be a side plank with hip abduction. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back by the wall here to make my life a little easier. I'm gonna go down in a comfortable position, and I'm going to keep my arms straight. We're gonna side plank, and then we're gonna try and lift our hip up. So I'm holding this side plank, one knee bent, one knee's going up and down. If you get tired of the side plank and can't keep going, just come down with the bottom hip, lift the top hip, so back and forth. This is the harder version. To make this really hard, lift up as high as you can with this top leg and hold. Just hang out here. Your hips will really be on fire. Okay, last one of this circuit, and then we take a 1-minute break. We're gonna take a band and do some dead bugs. So I'm gonna have you do, if you have a band, put your legs and arms in the band, and then I want you to try and do one at a time. So you can do just the arms back and forth, you can do just the legs back and forth, or you can do opposite arm, opposite leg. But the goal is that we're moving our arms and legs and we're keeping our back relatively stable. Now it doesn't have to be perfect, I just don't want you to overarch and overextend your spine as you reach those legs. If your legs get tired, just do the arms. If the arms get tired, just do the legs. There's no wrong way to do this one. If you really want to make it extremely difficult, do both at the same time. Whew. Okay. So that was the first round of Circuit A. Take a 1-minute rest. What I recommend here, grab some water, walk around if you need to. I'm going to stay seated just so I'm on camera, but if you need to walk around, I'd highly suggest that. So 1-minute rest before we get back into that circuit one more time. We're going to repeat the same 3 exercises, the beast crawl, the side plank, and then the dead bug. Again, you don't need a resistance band, but it's nice to make the movement a little bit more challenging. Okay. And for the beast crawl as well, same idea. If you want to make this more challenging, just try and hold it for a little bit longer. If you want to make it easier, just keep the knees down. All right, let's get in position. And here we go. Now we can also add a little variation to the beast crawl. We can do a lateral beast crawl, which is just sideways. This is just going to work the shoulders and the hips in a little bit of a different way. And then we can change it up and go back to our backwards and forwards beast crawl. Again, if you're tired, let those knees down and then just walk to the side. You're still getting some work on your shoulders because you're holding yourself up, but as we take the knees off, now the majority of my weight is on my shoulders, or at least enough that it's extremely challenging. Again, small little movements as you're going back and forth. Slow and controlled is what we're looking for here. Good. Now switch sides. I did my left side, laying on my left side for my hip abduction plank. So this time I'm going on my right. I'm lifting up and my top leg staying bent up and down. Now this is really working that bottom leg a lot, so the leg that you're actually on. This top leg does work as you're going up and down, but your primary worker is down here. So you're probably gonna feel this more so on your right leg if you're on your right side. Again, take a rest. If you can't go the full minute, take a break. While you're breaking, just lift that leg up and down, make life a little more easy. Okay, since I'm already on my side, I'm gonna roll right into my dead bugs. I'm going to show you, actually, let me show you without the band. So without the band, it's the same idea. You just reach and go back and forth. You can do same side and same side, or you can do opposite sides. Right and left, left and right. There's no wrong way to do this one. You can just do the arms back and forth if you're tired with the legs, and you can just do the legs. It's the same idea. Legs are a little more challenging just because there's more weight that you need to hold. If this is too much for you as well with the legs straight, just bend them. So you can just do taps back and forth with those legs bent. This is still gonna work those abs as you're lowering those legs down. I'm gonna go back to my band. Whew. Okay. And it's break time. So that is the end of circuit A. We're going to take a 1-minute rest, and then we're going to jump into circuit B. I'm going to throw circuit B up on the screen. Circuit B is going to be much more of a upper extremity, neck, and upper back focused circuit. Grab some water, walk around. This is your time to take a 1-minute rest before we jump into 3 more exercises. As you can tell, I'm already a little bit winded from that first one. It's hard to talk and exercise at the same time, but you know, we'll get there. All right, so for circuit B, I have 2 recommendations. The first one is if you feel uncomfortable kneeling on a harder surface, you can take a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, a pillow, or whatever, and kneel on it. But for this one, we're gonna be kneeling for the entire thing. So, all right, let's start. First one is going to be flexion to extension. So we're in a 4-point position, which means I'm on my hands and knees. I'm gonna reach my arm back as far as I can, and then reach all the way forward. So I'm using my left arm right now. I want you to stick with one arm the whole time. Doesn't matter which side, we're gonna switch for round 2. So pick a side and stay there for the first round. So this is called shoulder extension, which is where we're going back behind the body. And this is shoulder flexion. The idea is we're trying to extend that shoulder, and we're trying to reach it as far as we can in front. Now I'm moving my left arm for this exercise, but my right arm is doing a lot of work. It's holding up my body, it's stabilizing me, and it's keeping me in a position that is quite challenging. Okay, now we're gonna go internal rotation, which is behind the back, up to external rotation. So reach behind the back, reach behind the neck. So we tap the back, and then we tap the neck. Again, my right arm is doing a lot of work holding me up. If you get tired, just come down. Bring that left arm down, give that right arm a break. The goal is to reach as far as you can behind your head and reach as far as you can behind your back. Now, behind the back is typically a pretty tough one for some people. So if you can't get this far, just go right to your hip. Just reach as far back as you can. It doesn't matter how far you reach. All that matters is that you're challenging yourself on the actual motion. You will get better at this if you practice it more often. And trust me, a lot of people struggle with the behind the back reach. Okay, next one is 4-point rotation. So we're gonna keep that arm down, and then we're gonna rotate our spine up to the ceiling. So my left arm is going up. My left arm is now reaching for the wall. So here, up to the ceiling, back down to the wall. Up to the ceiling, down to the wall. This one's a little bit of a harder version. If you want an easier version, keep your hand across your chest and just rotate that upper back. So basically look down and look up. Try to rotate your whole upper back. This is one that I'm not very good at, and I definitely need to work on it more often. Again, we're still on the same side. I still got my right arm down. I'm gonna switch to my left arm down for the second round. 5 more seconds. Good. All right, take a break. So that is round 1 of circuit B. We're gonna take a 1 minute rest. I am obviously winded again. Gonna grab some water. Come here, come here, come here. My dog is over there sunbathing. Come here. Yeah, hi. Are you tired? You had a long day? Are you tired? Okay. We have 30 more seconds, and then we're going back into round B. Again, those 3 exercises, we're going to go through. Same idea. I was on my right arm the entire time, so I want you to switch and do the opposite side. I'm going to be doing my left arm the entire time. Hi. Hello. Hi. All right. Nice to see you. Okay, so I'm on my left arm. I'm reaching back and forth with my right. Now when I go back into shoulder extension, which is backwards, so this is flexion, this is extension, really try and reach as far as you can. So basically, I'm reaching for the ceiling here, but I'm also reaching for the ceiling here. This is one that we don't tend to get as much into our workout programs, is more of a shoulder extension motion, excuse me. So I think it's just a good movement to train just from more of a novel input standpoint. For this one, my right arm is doing all the moving, but again, my left arm is doing the stabilizing work, trying to hold my torso kind of parallel to the ground. I also want to try and maintain a little bit of a better chin tuck. Good. Now I'm going to go external rotation to internal rotation. So my right arm, or my right shoulder more specifically, has better internal rotation and external rotation than my left. You might notice that on yourself as well. It might be a little easier on one side than it is on the other. That's pretty common. Again, if you need a break, put that hand down, take a little breather. You can take rests whenever you need to, but I want you to challenge yourself. This is all about just making it difficult. I'm keeping my chin in a nice tucked position, and I'm really trying to reach my shoulder as far as I can. Okay, now I'm going to take my arm, reach underneath, and up to the ceiling. Reach underneath, and up. The goal of this one is to really get upper back rotation. Your hips are going to want to move a little bit, that's okay. Just really try and focus on that upper back. Again, to make this easier, cross that arm across your chest and just do a little less motion. You're still working that arm, you're still working that rotation. It's just a little easier to do. You can also put your hand behind your head. This one's a little bit more challenging on the neck because it adds a little bit of weight. It makes it a little more difficult to kind of look up. Again, while I'm here, keep that chin tucked. So we want to try and keep the neck in one position. Easier said than done. Okay. 1 minute rest again. That's the end of circuit B. We've got one more circuit, which is circuit C. I'm going to put that up on the screen as well. Circuit C is going to be more of a lower body and hip focus. For this one, you do not need any equipment as well, although I recommend a yoga mat just because, again, it's a little bit more comfortable. "25 more seconds, and then we're going to jump into the next round. Grab some more water, walk around. This is our last break before we jump into circuit C. Circuit C is going to begin laying on your side. So it doesn't matter, pick one side. Do that side for the first round and do the other side for the next round. All right, so begin in side lying position. These are called hip circles. So what you're going to do is bring your hip up, come all the way around and out, and then circle all the way around. So think of drawing a very large circle up this way, all the way around, and then all the way back. The goal here is really just to move your hip as far as you can. Don't worry about matching my motion, and don't worry if you have more motion than me. Just move your hip as far as you can. And if you notice here, I'm trying to go kind of slow and controlled. It's a lot easier if you just go very fast and just throw your momentum around. Try to really be intentional with your movement here. You can also take your bottom leg, so in this instance my right leg, and push that down to the ground. So that adds a little bit more of a co-contraction. Okay. Next one is going to be a tough one for a lot of people, but it's called a hip shin box. And we're going to transfer. So we're going to start with one leg in a cross position, one leg and cross the opposite. What we're going to try and do is keep ourselves up nice and tall. We're going to plant our feet into the ground and transfer over to the other direction. So watch me again, here and here. This looks complicated, but it's really not. So one hip is in external rotation, one hip is in internal rotation. Feet go down, transfer up. The goal is with this one to keep the posture up tall. If you can't, just put those arms back. If you're having a really hard time with this one, just put the arms back. Much easier to rotate the legs back and forth. But if possible, just keep yourself up tall, arms out, and rotate. Okay, last one for C, we call them frog rockers. What we're going to do is get into a frog stretch position, which is kind of a yoga position, and we're going to rock back and forth. So I'm going to go from an upright position, trying to bring my butt all the way down to the ground, and then all the way back. So this one might be uncomfortable for a lot of people. If it's too much, just narrow your stance. So go a little more narrow with your stance. You don't have to go to maximum flexibility on this one. Just put yourself in a slight stretch and then move back and forth. Again, this one's not about speed. It's not about trying to do it as difficult as possible. Just make it challenging. To make it harder, obviously you would slide the legs out. Okay, that's round one of circuit C. Take a 1 minute rest, and then we're going to do the last round of this entire mobility routine. If you guys have made it this far, let me know. Drop me a comment. Let me know if this is easy, if this is hard, if I need to make it more challenging. Let me know. If you're actually watching this far, drop me a comment. Whew, get some water. So going into the last round, again, make this one as challenging as you can. Make sure you do the opposite side to start off with your hip circles. I was laying on my right side to start, so I'm going to lay on my left to start this next round. Okay, I'm just going to get into my left side and get prepared so that when the timer goes, we're going to jump right off into it. Okay, and go. Just as a reminder, I'm pushing my bottom leg down into the ground, and then I'm drawing a big circle with my top leg. Try to bring your leg up into, this is called hip flexion, but as much flexion as you can. Circle towards the wall or away from your body. My knee is going to come forward and all the way around. So there's the big circle. Here. And all the way back. Keep pushing that bottom leg down. It's really easy to forget about that bottom leg. If you keep that bottom leg pressed down, it's going to stop you from rolling to the side of the hip that you're kind of rotating. All about control on this one. Okay, now we're going to get into that hip shin box transfer. which again, I know looks a little challenging for some people. Front leg is internally rotated, externally rotated for the other leg. I'm gonna put my arms down just to show you how easy it is if you have the arms down. Back and forth. Make this harder, just sit up tall. So transfer to my right, transfer to my left. Keep that torso up as tall as you can. And again, the goal is to try and keep the feet down on the ground. You're almost trying to roll from the outside surface of the foot all the way to the inside. Roll from the outside surface of the foot back to the inside. And keep that torso upright. 5 more seconds. Last exercise, frog rockers. So we're going back into the frog position, which again is sort of a yoga position. We're gonna breathe and try and sink back as deep into the stretch as we can. Again, to make this harder, widen those legs out as far as you can. Should really give you a good kind of hip opener. If it's too difficult, just narrow that stance. You can even put your feet together. That'll make life a little easier for you. I'm going to go back into that wide position. This is the last exercise in this circuit. Keep going. Finish strong. And really try and push the butt back towards the heels. That's the goal here, is to just try and rock the butt back as far as you can. Whew. All right, that is it. That is the end of the full body circuit. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please leave this video a like, subscribe if you really want to check out more of the content that I post on here. I've got a bunch of these mobility series exercise videos. You can check them out. This is more of a full body focused. I have lower body, upper body, spine, all sorts of different programs. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to drop them down in the comments and I'll make a video based on suggestions. Again, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.